Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, shout out first off to Gospel According to Mark with a C. He and I both saw this, but he was the first one who saw the Time to Believe Amber Heard thing that I noticed from the MeToo movement. It's from a bunch of MeToo nut jobs in, I think it was Vogue. And as a person who is a victim of the MeToo movement, I feel that it is time to actually have a chat. A chat that is rather long overdue. Excuse me. And one that I believe does need to happen. See, back in 2017, I was arrested for false accusations against me for sexual crimes. Back when the Me Too movement was just starting to get off the ground, so to speak. And it was at this time, hello, Daniel Gomez. Yes, the Me Too movement started with the allegations against Harvey Weinstein. Yes. And so, yes, the Me Too movement got off the ground there, but I also was a victim of it. And if you really want to know the details, I will point you to the video that is on my channel called Time for a Serious Discussion. It will give you the details you need to know about what my case was. I was falsely accused of a sexual crime against a minor, and I was forced to take a deal. No, I am not registered because I did not need to. All the felony charges were dropped. However, I was forced into taking the deal. Coercion is basically being forced into it. So with that out of the way, yes, there have been some very disturbing things that have gone on since the Me Too movement's founding. With the whole hashtag Believe All Women and the movement's star-studded members who pushed this whole Believe All Women narrative, where myself personally, I choose to believe in facts and evidence because it is facts and evidence that are truly what matter when it comes to things like sexual assault and pedophilia. It is things like facts and evidence that will determine whether a person is guilty or not guilty. It is facts and evidence that matter more than a simple accusation. I was arrested on an accusation-only basis. In the state of New York, that is what's known as illegal. However, due to the factors of, in lack of a better word, I'll use factors of the deal that I took, I am not allowed to sue for the damages that I have undergone while incarcerated, because I was held for 9.5 months, almost 9 months and 8 days. And during that time, yes, I had suffered abuses. I was assaulted, not sexually, but physically assaulted several times. I was mistreated by the deputies that were in that justice center. One time there was a dehumanizing experience, which it was a human rights violation. That did get settled and resolved. However, there were several others that didn't. But moving on to what people are saying with the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial, I think that people really do need to understand that the Depp versus Heard trial, as it has unfolded currently, is showing that Amber Heard is indeed, by admission of her own self, the perpetrator of domestic violence, not the victim of it. And she has thus far faked being the victim of it through several flimsy at best photographs of her being abused. She has admitted on her own or on audio recording that she has assaulted Johnny Depp. She punched him. She hit him and whatnot. And people still want to say it is time to believe Amber Heard and that she is the face of the MeToo movement. Well, it seems that a lot of people are coming out against her. And people who still believe in the whole believe all women. Let me show you why it is not a good idea to believe all women. You see, after I got out of jail, I became an advocate for those who are falsely accused of the crimes similar to mine. And there is this one case that still rings very true today, or that is still relevant today. Even though it is a 2-year, or this case happened back in 2018, a woman by the name of Nikki Iovino falsely accused 2 men of rape. She has ruined the lives of these 2 men. And I will share the screen of the story I am going to share with you. She is from Long Island, folks. Long Island woman who made false rape claims denied probation reduction. This story is from 2020, but it is still relevant today because of how the MeToo movement has been corrupted. How you doing, Price is Right Reviews? It is good to see you. So, a Connecticut judge denied a request to cut short probation for a Long Island woman convicted of falsely accusing 2 former Sacred Heart University football players of raping her 4 years ago. This is back in 2020, so this happened in 2016, the incident. A judge in Bridgeport denied a bid by Nikki Iovino of South Setauket, New York, to reduce her 3 years of probation by half after she served 1 year in prison, followed by 16 months probation, in the case, the Connecticut Post reported Tuesday. Iovino, then 19, was sentenced to 3 years in prison, which the final 2 suspended in August 2018 after pleading guilty ahead of the trial to 2 counts of second-degree falsely reporting an incident and 1 count of inferring with police in the encounter at a booze-filled party. Iovino told police in October 16 that 2 football players at the college in Fairfield forced her to have sex in a bathroom in a basement of a house during a football club party in Bridgeport. Police said Iovino claimed the football players, who have since left the university, actually no, they were expelled, held her down before sexually assaulting her, both men later admitting to having sex with Iovino, but contended the encounter was consensual, police said. 3 months later, Iovino admitted that she made up the accusation during an interview with a police detective after her Long Island home, at her Long Island home. The Connecticut Post reports. She admitted that she made up the allegation of sexual assault against the football players because it was the first thing that came to her mind, and she didn't want to lose another male student as a friend and potential boyfriend. So she decided to ruin 2 people's lives because she wanted to have a boyfriend and she didn't want to be looked down upon because of her sexual liaison with the other 2. Iovino thought the encounter might make the other student angry and sympathetic to her. Superior Court Judge Tracy Lee Drayton denied Jovino's request while noting that she had previously agreed to a plea deal in the case. Jovino did not attend the hearing, is living with relatives in Ridgefield, but wants to return to Long Island, her attorney told the judge. Attorney Ryan O'Neill declined to comment following the hearing, the newspaper reports. A prosecutor said she opposed any reduction of Jovino's probation, citing a lack of proof that she underwent mental health evaluation and treatment, both of which were conditions of her probation. According to the report, the two former students, meanwhile, are suing Jovino, claiming the bogus rape complaint forced them to leave the Fairfield University. One of the men, Malik St. Hilaire, told a judge during Jovino's sentencing that he had no way to clear his name following the accusations. I hope she knows that she has done or what she has done to me. My life will never be the same, St. Hilaire said in court. I did nothing wrong, but everything has been altered because of this. The other kid's lawyer the other student's lawyer had to essentially come forward and stop sharing that. Talk because, or the other victim's lawyer had to come forward and say he is afraid to appear publicly because he has received death threats. He has received unjust abuse from society because of the accusation that was made by Nikki Jovino. And yet, people are supposed to believe all women. This is why it is not okay to parade the hashtag believe all women or believe women or believe men for that matter. You should believe in facts and evidence. If an accusation is made, it deserves to be heard. And if it goes to a court of law, it deserves to be a fair trial. That is a constitutional right in this country. The MeToo movement has had several false accusations against people made since its inception. Elon Musk has received a false claim against him, or a sexual allegation complaint against him, shall we say. I'm not going to state that it's false. However, because of the timing and its coincidental nature with him saying he's going to vote a certain way, I am old enough to remember certain things happening, that when Donald Trump decided to run for president, everybody and their uncle were frickin' accusing him of sexual molestation and sexual assault. Everybody was going after Donald or former President Trump for sexual assault and whatnot. None of them panned out. None of them went to court. All of them found a lack of evidence to prosecute. So yeah, that is why when a woman is indeed sexually assaulted, or a man for that matter is sexually assaulted, or a child is sexually assaulted, be them male or female, they should come forward immediately, and they should not be afraid of being not believed. You are allowed to have your case heard. Me, I was unjustly treated. I was arrested without evidence. I was arrested and incarcerated, not imprisoned because I didn't go to prison, but I was incarcerated and had to live that life for 9 months plus because of an accusation that was made that supposedly, and actually, to be 100% honest, did not happen during the time of which the accusation suggests. It never happened at all, to be quite frank. So, yes, this is why the MeToo movement needs to stop with the believe all women. Now, do they deserve to be heard? Yes, they do. If there was a crime committed against them, they deserve to have their day in court against their accuser or their abuser, rather, not accuser, but abuser. And the accused has every right to face their accuser in court. But when yes, exactly, Happy Dinosaur. Me Too went and got corrupted the moment politics got involved. Same with Believe All Women. The thing is, Believe All Women it's not corrupt. It's just not feasible. It's not viable. It is not something that should ever be done. You should never believe every woman who makes a case. Nikki Iovino is a perfect example of why you should never believe all women. However, you should believe that they have a right to be heard. Everyone who is a victim of sexual assault or sexual crimes has a right to be heard. And they have a right to bring forth the evidence that is needed to resolve what has happened to them. Unfortunately, my case, I was coerced into taking a deal. And since 2018, January, I have been afraid to go out in public. I have been threatened. I've had my life threatened in the area where I used to live, where the accusations happened. I had to flee that area for my life because I thought my life was in imminent danger. Now, it turned out that the person who made the threat was not who they suggested they were. But it was already too late. I had already moved. I had to move away from family. The false accusations against me. Now, a lot of people would be like, well, don't you want to sue your accuser? I can't, because I took that deal. Do I feel any hatred towards my accuser? No. She was a dumb kid that decided to make a very stupid decision. She has to live with that. She has to live with that for the rest of her life, as I have to live with the consequences of taking a deal that I was coerced into taking. Now, next year, January, because at the end of situations like mine, a mandatory protection order is put in place. No contact between accused or accuser. However, she went on a harassment campaign, and yet nothing could have been done about it. I tried contacting the police. They said, well, she is seen as the victim, so there's nothing that can be done. So I decided to block every single account she had, which was numerous, by the way. She had several accounts created in different names and whatnot. And I had to block each and every one of them. I want no contact with my accuser. Even after the protection order is lifted, I still will not contact her. Because, honestly, there's nothing to be said. She has to live her life with the knowledge that she lied. I have to live my life with the knowledge that I had been accused of a crime and was treated unfairly. Folks, the MeToo movement, while it is being used right now as a weapon, is not how it is meant to be used. Amber Heard currently is not a victim. Does that necessarily mean that she was not abused at one point or another? No. There is still a very strong possibility that she may have been abused. Who knows? But from all the evidence that this court case has yielded, she is not the victim. She is, in fact, the abuser. People are seeing this. People are realizing this. Some of them used to be a supporter of her. As far as I am concerned, Amber Heard, from all the evidence that I have seen, is no better than Nikki Yovino, because Amber Heard has also made sexual assault claims against Johnny Depp. She said she was violated with a cavity search, looking for cocaine or something. She said that he shoved a bottle inside of her, a broken champagne bottle inside of her, yet she sought no medical treatment. If you have that sort of injury, I think you might want to seek treatment. There is so much that I look at when it comes to the Amber Heard situation that is reminiscent to another situation that I went through. I was or am a victim, or was a victim, of domestic abuse when I was 15 years old. I was assaulted physically by a person who I was in the custody of. And at the time, it was written off as a domestic dispute. There was no charges filed because, well, certain things happened. When I think back on that night that I was assaulted, I look at the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, and I see in Amber Heard everything of my abuser. I see the narcissism. I see the drunken hatred. I see the abuse of alcohol and whatnot. Because the person who abused me, yes, they were drunk and they assaulted me. I'm not going to get into specifics of that because, honestly, it doesn't need to be done. However, I was assaulted that night. I was taken out of the home the next day. I tried getting out of the home that night. However, the person who I was in custody of accused the person who was picking me up and said, if you take him, we'll have you arrested for kidnapping. So I had to stay in the home for the night until I could get out the next day. When I see Johnny Depp and his testimony and the way that he acts, the way that his testimony is given, the way that he reacts to certain things. Yes, he smiles. Yes, he laughs at certain ridiculousness in the courtroom. But he does not look Amber Heard in the eye. Now, she says it's because he knows what he has done and he is guilty of it. No, it is because he is not going to look her in the eye and give her the satisfaction that she wants. Me, I wish I could make peace with my abuser. Unfortunately, I will never have that chance. They have passed on since. However, I have found peace in knowing that I will never be abused like that again. As for the Johnny Depp trial and the MeToo movement, the MeToo movement really does need to take a long look at itself and say, maybe we should stop saying that we need to believe all women. And maybe we should start thinking that we need to support the facts and evidence argument. Every victim or alleged victim of abuse has a right to be heard, as I have said. However, if it is found that they have made false accusations, they should be allowed, or it should be allowed to hold them to account. If a person makes a false rape allegation against somebody, and it turns out that they lied, then they should be held to account to the same degree in which that person they accused, if found guilty, they should receive that punishment. They should not get a slap on the wrist or 3 years and then probation following. No. Nikki Ovino, the one that I discussed earlier in this stream, she should have received 2 counts, or the sentence of 2 counts of sexual assault. The maximum sentence, which I believe in the state of New York, if it is a certain level, is 10 to 15 years each. So 20 to 30 if they decide to stack the sentence. Or they could just make it as good as 1 sentence or 1 count. That's up to the judge in court. But yeah, when it comes to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, I stand with Johnny Depp, and I think there should be justice for Johnny Depp. I think that Amber Heard is an abuser. I think she is a liar. I think she is a narcissist. And I think that she needs to be held to account and and people need to stop for a moment and look at the facts. Look at the evidence that has been presented. Look at these stories and that she has told and the many holes in them. Look at the contradictions to her own case, to her own testimony. Look at the witnesses that have come forward for Johnny Depp, and then look at the depositions that have come forward for Amber Heard, along with biased witnesses for her as well. Her sister is biased. No matter what anybody has to say, her sister has already said, I will do anything for my sister. Does that include lying on the stand, Whitney? Because if it does, yeah, you are a biased witness and therefore should not, or your testimony should not count. Folks, there is a very strong line between family and whatnot. However, I will tell you right now, not all families are the same. I'll tell you right now that if a family member in my family did something wrong, sure, we would stand by them, but we would also make them be held accountable for what they did. And this case with Johnny Depp and the MeToo movement and how people need to start believing in Amber Heard. No, they don't. Amber Heard's testimony, the evidence against her, she walked out on the jury before the jury was excused, which they are the first to be excused from a courtroom. When somebody disrespects the very people who holds her life in their hands and their future and the case in their hands, you might want to show them respect because they are taking time out of their lives to hear about your fucked up life. Amber Heard specifically is the one I am talking to in that sentence. Instead of sitting by her attorney, which she should have done, she got up and walked right out of the courtroom. She was escorted out by a deputy there. And that was still, to me, seen as very disrespectful. Good morning, Andrew. It's got to be around 8 o'clock where you are in the morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. But yes, as for Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, MeToo Movement, stop taking one side or the other. Look at facts and evidence and look at where they lead and look at which side it supports. The facts are on Johnny Depp's side. Now, if there is a smoking gun that suddenly comes forward that tips the scales into Amber Heard's favor, and Johnny Depp is indeed guilty of what he has been accused of doing, then yes, Johnny Depp should be held to account. However, that has not yet happened. As for Amber Heard, if this case finally does go in the way of Johnny Depp, she is going to have to pay $50 million to Johnny Depp. Not to mention, she's going to have to find a way to pay off the pledges that she made to the ACLU and to that children's hospital, I think it was. She didn't pay off that those donations. Greg Z, good to see you. I thought this was all about rah, emotional reaction, not actual reality. How are we supposed to get outraged over facts and evidence? Well, here's the thing. You're supposed to get outraged over the facts and evidence and what they show, meaning you're supposed to get outraged at the person of whom the facts and evidence are against. And in this case, it's okay, Greg Z. I sometimes can't identify sarcasm, but yeah. I think they're both guilty to some point. Amber much more, though. And you know what, Andrew? That may indeed have been or might indeed be the case. And if Johnny Depp has done something to her and there's nothing done about it, well, he'll have to answer to a higher power when his day comes. That's all I can say to that. Do I think that Johnny Depp is a good actor? I think he's a decent actor, sure. I think he absolutely sucked in the last Pirates movie, but that was also because of the heavy drinking. You could tell he was literally drunk trying to deliver some of his lines. He was slurring those lines really badly. Okay, Andrew, have a good day. Have a Greta day or a great day? I'll have a great day because the last person that I knew named Greta said to me and the rest of the world, "How dare you?" But yes, the Me Too movement, start believing or start supporting facts and evidence and start supporting all people who are victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and other disgusting crimes against them. Stop just believing all women or believing all men or believing all survivors. How about you believe in the facts and the evidence when it falls? Believe that people have a right to be heard. Their cases have a right to be heard so that they may face what has happened to them and move on. Maybe if that sort of thing was supported, things may have ended up differently for me and other people. Anyway, folks, I needed to get on here and get that off my chest. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat who has come forward, who's watched on either YouTube or Facebook. Thank you to Andrew. Thank you to Happy Dino, Price is Right, NB Geeks, Greg Z, Vanja, thank you. Keely Chow, thank you. Captain Fandom Nerd, thank you for stopping in. Daniel Gomez, thank you to all who stopped in for this stream, for this airing out of grievances and getting this off my chest. Also, share the stream if you could, folks, because it should be shared out. People need to see this. People need to know that facts and evidence are more important than the gender of the accuser. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. If you're catching this on the replay, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Should facts and evidence be believed first, or should the person be believed first? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Chat Reviews. Stay home.